Today I'm doing a review of the Maltby Highway utility wood, the latest release from the Golfworks. Let's get started. Hey golfers, Dave from Fit2U Golf. I think this is a timely review because just about a month ago I reviewed the STF2 fairway wood and kind of lamented that there weren't additional lofts available, and some of you commented that they really wish that Golfworks would come out with other lofts like a 7 wood and a 9 wood, and then here the Highway arrives. This is a club that's offered in two lofts, 21 degrees and 23 degrees. Now, the name of this club is technically inaccurate. I mean, a hybrid is a combination between an iron and a fairway wood, and this is a combination between a hybrid and a fairway wood, so the correct name should be Highway. I'll overlook this error on the part of the Golfworks, but I will, of course, refer to it as Highway throughout this video. So when you first look at this club, it looks big, and I say that just because when you're looking at it alone, it has some obviously some hybrid elements, so it looks like an oversized hybrid. It actually reminds me of a club that I used to play and had my rotation for a long time, the Nikon 40X UT. That was a 7 utility wood, and that's still in play. I've passed it on to someone who, of course, hits it better than me. I'm not going to name names. And as you'll see in my review, I think actually this footprint, this design is going to appeal to a lot of golfers. But just to give you an idea of the size of this head, let me show you a comparison to some of the other clubs in the Tour TC line. If you look at this image, the Highway is in the middle. To the left is the 4 wood from the TC fairway wood line, and then to the right is a 4 hybrid from the Tour TC line. And you can see by its shape and footprint, it's definitely more of a wood, and that's the intention here. It's called a utility wood. It accepts a 335 diameter shaft, a fairway wood shaft. So it's definitely more fairway wood than hybrid, and I think golfers are going to like this because sometimes the size of a 7 wood head gets a little intimidating. It's tended to be small and low profile. This has a nice tall face, kind of confidence inspiring. I like that you can see the loft on it at address. It's also fairly wide. This is going to add forgiveness through MOI. Of course, we have the weight port on the bottom, so adjustment for swing weight and feel, and it has the white accents and also the cup face technology on the top of the crown, similar to the other Tour TC clubs. I paired this head with a Maltby MPF fairway wood shaft, stiff flex. I applied a standard grip, cut it to 41.5 inches, and at that length with the standard 8-gram weight in the sole, it swing weights at D0. I'm going to say that it has a heft that feels greater than that. I mean, the head weight on this is 225 grams. Mine came in at 223, and as I stated before, it's 21 degrees aloft. But it's, even though that's lighter than a 7 wood would be. I mean, I think a year or two ago I did a review of a 7 wood that I built under the Affordable Club series, and that head weight was 255, and even a 3 hybrid, which would be kind of a similar loft, would weigh probably 240 or 250 grams. So what I'm trying to say is it has a nice heft to it. It's confidence inspiring. It's by no means a sledgehammer, but it has a really nice feel, and I like it at that swing weight. Now, in addition to hitting this club at the range and into the backyard net, I also have played a full round with it, and I took every opportunity to hit it out of all kinds of different conditions. So I hit it off the tee, off the fairway, light rough, and heavy rough. And the only condition where this club really didn't perform well was under really heavy rough. And I'm talking like 6 inches and the ball barely visible. And I think because the size of the head, it doesn't have a lot of rounding to the sole, it doesn't glide through that really heavy rough as well as, say, a hybrid would. But I don't think that's the fault of the club. I mean, I shouldn't have been there anyway, and probably should have just hacked out with a sand wedge. So when I was playing with this club, whether I was hitting off a tee, the fairway, or light rough, the thing that I notice about this is it goes straight. For those of you who might steer away from hybrids because they tend to be draw biased and they're afraid they'll be hook machines, don't fear that with this club, at least in my experience. On the course, I really wasn't trying to shape it wildly, so if I tried to hit a baby draw, it went straight. If I tried to hit a little fade, it went straight. Now, when I was at the range and experimenting with moving the ball, I could move it either way just fine. So you can still shape shots with this, but straight is good. All right, so I'll put up some swings from the range so you can hear the sound a little bit, and I'll talk through a bit of the feel and the sound. This has a really solid feel. When you miss the sweet spot, it feels really good. When you hit the sweet spot, it feels great. The sound is very much like a fairway wood sound, solid but a little bit high pitched. Really, really pleasing sound. Now, before we look at the data I collected from the Mevo, let me just say that I would be looking for this club to get me to 200 yards total. That would put me right between the hybrid that precedes it and the next club up, which in this case would be probably a 4-wood. So when I took data with the Mevo, I was on average swinging this club at 90 miles an hour, getting ball speeds of 122 miles an hour with a smash factor of 1.35. I was carrying it at 183 yards with a launch of 17 degrees. It was spinning at 4,100 and had a decently high ball flight of 84 feet. I don't know how much of the ball flight you can see from the video I took at the range, but this was higher than a fairway wood, but lower than a hybrid in terms of its launch. It was really nice, very nice kind of rainbow shape to it. Definitely could hit into a green and stop it fairly soon. And the numbers performed great. I mean, I think for me anyway, those are good numbers with this club. And I like that launch and spin combination. So onto the pros and cons. I really don't have many cons. I'll start with that. I'll just say that I think the size of it, if you're a fairway wood purist, you're going to think this is too kind of boxy, and the face might be too tall. But if you're someone who really wants something in between, a versatile club that's more fairway wood than it is hybrid, but retains some of those hybrid features, you'll like this club. So I'm going to say for some, the looks might be a con, the size might be a con, but I think for most golfers, this is going to be very appealing. So that only leaves the pros. Obviously, it's a really good performer. It went straight for me. It went far. It feels great. Sounds great. It's affordable. It heads around $60, and you can use a fairway wood shaft with this, which there are a lot of options for that. So I really can't find anything bad to say about it. So I'm going to go all out and say this is an eagle. This is just a terrific utility wood, and I think a lot of golfers are going to be jumping to this. So I hope you like the review. As always, please subscribe. Post some comments if you have questions or you've tried this club yourself. And beautiful weather out there here in the Northeast, so get out there, play some golf, and stay positive.